La- Ladies and gentlemen, welcome into another live stream. Wednesday, that's right, Wednesday. I thought it was Tuesday there, but no, it's Wednesday. Wednesday night. It's already Wednesday night, so it's basically Thursday when you think about it. What's up, guys? Goon Squadron? Nah, nah. If President Trump was in the Epstein files, Democrats would have outed him long ago. Um, yeah, I mean it's a little bit more complicated than that. It's being in the files doesn't mean what people think it means. It doesn't mean that Trump is guilty of going to the island and doing terrible things to children. It just means that Trump is listed somewhere and of having some type of relationship with Epstein, which he obviously did. There's photos of them together. But I mean, this is the dynamic we have to keep dealing with. I mean, but it does make Trump look bad for sure. When is a good entry point for Buttcoin? Are you talking about the one on Ethereum? I really do. I mean, it's very low right now. I can't give you financial advice. I don't know. I mean, that coin is just, it's, who knows if it's going to catch on. Not sure why Trump is digging a deeper grave. There was no wrongdoing. Say I had a semi-personal professional relationship with him. That's why I'm in the files. Move on. Yeah, no, I agree 100%. And I think that, it has to be nuanced. Being in the file, people don't really understand what it means to be in the files and what the files encompass, at least unless I'm misreading it. Nobody cares about the Steele dossier. Yeah, I know. It's understandable what Trump is doing. He's trying to distract people. What if they arrested Obama? Finally, after 20 years, Barack Hussein Obama, you are under arrest of treason. Under whose authority? The President of the United States. Today is your birthday. You have two birthdays in the span of a week. You're something special. Mumblewick. You give me money on your birthday, you have two birthdays in a week. If it's something minor, why did Trump just flip out trying to hide it? Well, I mean, there might be people Trump knows in it. I mean, it's pretty nuanced. It's not just, again, you have to understand the context of Epstein. Trump brought Epstein up in 2015, saying that Bill Clinton went to the island and he's going to have problems. Nobody was talking about Epstein. Why would Trump bring up Epstein if he had also gone to the island? You think that's real smart? I think that when you contextualize it, it's very obvious that Trump had a relationship with Epstein. He's in the files because they had a relationship. Epstein had a relationship with a lot of very wealthy people. He's one of them. There might be a situation where Trump knows someone that's in them and he's doesn't want to let it out, or he's getting blackmailed in some way. I think it's more complicated than just, oh yeah, he's guilty of this horrible crime and so he doesn't want it released. The Wall Street thing is a nothing. You love that CoffeeZilla report. Well, he can't help himself. Everything that comes out that's semi-negative, that's any negative. You've got Tulsi Gabbard talking about Obama. They're saying Trump told the U.S. DOJ told Trump in May that his name is among many in the files. That's from the Wall Street Journal. Yeah, but didn't Musk already say that Trump was in the files? Didn't we just go through this? We just went through this. What do you make of Trump talking about him owning the teen beauty pageant and talking about getting away with going in the locker room and looking? Just found out about that last night. Well, I mean, that's obviously they're trying to get Trump on a lot of stuff right now. I don't know, when was that from? Like 1980? Look, I don't know about that. There's clearly a difference between being on being in the files and being on the actual list. Right, it's nuanced. There's obviously a difference, and they do this thing to where they say like, "I'm not touching you, I'm not touching you, I'm not touching you, I'm not touching you." Okay, yeah. Well, why don't you just put out your claim if you're going to do that? But none of these publications will put out their claim. They'll say, "Well, he's in the files." Okay, what does that mean? Can you tell us exactly what that means? If you got this report that he's in the files, does it mean that he's guilty of something terrible, or does it part as part of a probe in the files where they were talking about the relationships that Epstein had? You know, it's a nuanced thing. Yeah, CoffeeZilla is obviously a liberal, and he just cashes in on this just mass hysteria and this boomer slop liberal bullshit with all these dumbass liberal boomers who just buy like everything that's negative. Oh, Trump negative, Trump guilty, pedo. It's just this just slop. Vance met with Murdoch, the owner of Wall Street Journal, 4 times the last 2 weeks. Power play is being no. Vance behind Trump's back to remove Trump. I don't see it. The real question is if Trump is on the actual list itself. If he is, he's in a world of the actual list. That's just impossible. I think, man. There's just too much vetting that's gone on in Trump's life for him to. I mean, that's a heinous situation if he's on it. I mean, I just thoughts on the House subpoena for the files. Yeah, I mean, I think they're trying to save face. They're trying to save face. You know, aren't they having a mass? Aren't they? Aren't isn't Congress having a long recess to September 2nd? I heard. But they're trying to save face and produce some type of information because they have to. I mean, they're getting pressured. You thought Wall Street Journal was supposed to be conservative? It is. It's like a long. You know, it's supposed to be like center right, but you know, they've been getting these scoops about Trump, and they keep putting them out. Bro, you got to stop with that. Oklahoma over under 7.5. I don't know, man. Oklahoma, I'd have to look at their schedule, bro. 7.5, maybe 8-4. I'd say for Oklahoma. They need to beat Michigan is what they need to do. If they lose to Michigan, they're probably 6-6 team. What about Vance having a dinner with Tim Dillon? Tim's getting a lot of shit. Yeah, I know. I don't really understand that. You're the vice president of the United States. You need to have dinner with a you know a comedian, but that these comedians are obsessed with politics now. They're interwoven with politics. It's constant. Did you see Mike Johnson say we're on recess? No, I didn't see that, but I know they're on recess for like over a month now, which I guess Trump is pretty happy about. Nobody will believe anything regardless of what's released. It has to be fresh. Yeah, there would have to be a huge revelation for the trust to be reinstalled within the administration. I just don't see it. No, they're going to say, well, they're hiding stuff, and whatever gets revealed through these court documents, if they end up getting released, it certainly is not going to be good enough. There obviously there's some type of pressure play where it's being leaked to the Wall Street Journal now, and I mean, you just have to wonder, are these leaks going to keep coming? But again, I can't imagine a scenario where Trump is horribly guilty of these terrible crimes and it doesn't come up at all in the past decade. That seems like it's shocking. There's rumors out there of Bill Clinton going to the island over 20 times, Prince Andrew, etc., but there's no known rumor of Trump going to the island. Well, exactly. And that's why the Democrats wanted it dropped originally, because it was all based on, I mean, the president that they kept talking about was Bill Clinton and his relationship. And the Democrats said, no, it's a conspiracy. And that was during, I mean, the whole Epstein saga during Trump's first administration. And they said, no, we want it dropped. It's all a conspiracy against Democrats. And, now, of course, they've done a 180 on it because it looks like it can benefit them. And it looks like Trump is covering it up. And it's a terrible look for his administration. R.I.P. Ozzy Osbourne. Yeah, I heard that was yesterday. The island isn't everything. Girls have been trafficked in New York and Florida. Not that I think Trump was involved. I mean, but really anywhere, it's all the same information. Whether it's if he's involved in a terrible act, it's you'd think it would come out. Thoughts on the Jelaine meetup? Trump's making a pardon deal in exchange for her saying Epstein was the only one. Trump is pardoning her. And I didn't read anything about that. Or maybe it's like a sweetheart deal or something like that. Epstein's the only one what to abuse. That nobody would believe that. Nobody's going to believe anything she says because she's going to do it to try and I mean, she's imprisoned right now. What leverage does she have? They can tell her what to say. Nobody's going to believe her. Thoughts on Hunter Biden interview on Channel 5? Yeah, it was all over the place. I mean, he did say a few interesting things, but, you know, the immigration stuff is just such played out horseshit. You know, when you talk about that and the need for immigrants, give me a fucking break. But, as some of this, I mean, you know, he's a weird dude. Why do you think XRP will 100x a few weeks ago? Yeah, XRP 100x for sure. White House dismissed the report from Wall Street Journal claiming the DOJ informed Trump of his mention in the Epstein files. Russia, Ukraine, and Istanbul peace talks after 34 minutes. That's great news. How is Trump's approval -5 on immigration? See, some of these polls just don't make any sense. I'm sorry. How do you have -5 on immigration? That makes 30 minutes of peace talks. Yeah, 30 minutes of peace talks. I don't think we're gonna come close to any type of peace deal with 30 minutes and they leave. 34 minutes. You gotta be fair. Yeah, I don't get these polls. I mean, how is it -5 on immigration? Trade -15. I mean, do normie people even follow like trade? I mean, like what I guess the tariff situation they're mad about. So it's -15. The economy -14. Based on, I mean, it's very subjective, the economy. I would say the economy is going in a good direction, but Epstein case. Oh yeah, I wonder if it's going to be positive after this. This is just sad. Trump is giving easy layups to the Dems and the media. This entire situation is botched BS. I know to me it's one of those things to where, you know, they're obviously trying to cover the situation up to a degree by putting out all this stuff about Obama, and it just comes off as totally tone deaf and disingenuous, and nobody buys it, and it makes it worse, honestly, because everyone sees right through it, especially nowadays. You know, maybe in like before social media, you could kind of talk about this other stuff, and because nobody was connected to the internet, it gets forgotten about. But nowadays, there's nowhere to run with something like this, and you would have figured that they would have. I mean, this is their administration that said they were going to release stuff. This is Pam Bondi. So how do we go from that to whatever this is? You ever have a Game Boy? You were born in 06, but your brothers had them. Yeah, I did have one. I didn't play it normally though. I was born in 99. So you're a lot younger than me, but it was still too you know, I was born after the Game Boy really. We got the DS and stuff, so you play the PS2? No, I never played PlayStation. I played the original Xbox though. That was the first console I got. Is there a chance that Trump resigns and Vance takes over? I can't see any way that happen. I mean, how could you predict something like that? Trump resigns? I mean, it would have to. That would be like an admission if that's something like that happened. You were born in 04 and had a Game Boy. We're born the same year. You're born in 2000. All right, we don't have to all recite when we were born. 2009 bullshit, man. What are you watching this channel for? Yeah, I don't see Trump resigning. I don't see any way Trump resigns over this. I mean, unless it's so bad, but then if it's so bad, it's like look at this clip of Hillary.
Vice presidential. Did you talk about vice presidential possibilities with Senator Warren?
You guys have got to try the cold.
She had some weird shit happening with her in 2016. You're 16? Dude. I'm surprised you... Well, I mean, I guess if you're 16, you could pay attention to politics, but that's pretty young. Tulsi Gabbard officially refers Barack Obama for immediate criminal prosecution for an arrest. There's been an arrest warrant issue to Barack Hussein Obama. Immediate arrest and extradition. Polymark odds on Obama being arrested. I think it was 5%, right? Was it not 5%? %. Trump pardon Maxwell 14%. Come on, dude. Israel annexed territory 41%. Yeah, they want to annex the West Bank. The Gaza they can't really annex. There's nothing left. They destroyed everything. Adam Schiff now getting excited. Blue Anon gets excited.
Over the last several months, the Justice Department dispatched hundreds, if not thousands, of agents to comb through the Epstein files and flag any mention of Donald Trump. Now we learn in May, Pam Bondi informed Trump that his name is included in those files. Bondi knew, Patel knew, but in July, as recently as just a week or two ago, Trump denied being informed that his name was in those files, even though we have now learned Bondi told him. We need to bring Bondi and Patel into the Judiciary Committee to testify about this now. Over the last several...
Boomer slop. Did you see Trump's post? Oh, I gotta show you guys Trump's post. I don't think I've been live streaming recently, but this is one of the best. This is the Boomer final boss of posts. It's an amazing post. Trump has had a lot of wins lately. The media is going hard to take any attention away from that. Hence, Trump is on the list headlines. I mean, but listen, this is a bad thing for them. But I mean, he's done a lot good. I agree. So it's unfortunate that this is coming up like this. Honestly, I used to like Tulsi, but this stuff with Obama is clearly just to suck up to Trump. Pretty sad. Yeah, but that's her job. That's her job, so she's going after Obama. Look, I know it looks disingenuous. It looks like a distraction, and it is. But I mean, what do you want her to do? Oh no, it's even better than a wall of text. Here, let me go to it. It's on my account. All right, this is what Trump posted. It's a countdown. It's not even... God damn it. This is all it is. It's just a countdown of, like, weird, like, you know, viral cool moments. I mean, this is, like... Facebook content. He just posts this with no comment. He's just like, yeah, that's cool. So, some liberal tweet was like, why is the president of the United States posting this? And honestly, this is a good question. But it is funny. Do you think that there will ever be a time you will no longer be able to support Trump given the recent direction the administration has been heading? I mean, I don't know, man. Look, politics is a very complicated thing. I think if something comes out to where Trump is guilty of some bad stuff, we're going to have to. If something comes out and Trump is implicated and it's real, I will have to then look at that and reassess it. I don't know. I think the way the administration is heading is a bit unfortunate, but they're doing some good stuff. So whether I am still support Trump or not, it's like Trump just got in. He just got in, so I don't know, man. I mean, I think some of the things are unfortunate. Whatever this is, I maintain the same opinion that I think whatever this is, somebody Trump knows is in this, or but it can't be anything terrible on Trump just because there's just been too much vetting of Trump as a political figure. There's been too many times where Trump has talked about the Epstein situation. If he was actually guilty, you'd think he'd want to shy way away from talking about it. So I just use the context clues, and so I mean I think a lot of this is a smear by liberals, and look, we can play the game where it's like, well, why didn't the liberals release it? And then they'll just say because all the liberals are in them and it's a uniparty problem, but still you'd think they would release them. But that's just Trump's boomer post right there. The ultimate boomer post. How can anyone believe the Democrats? Well, it's not the Democrats, it's their own administration. It's their own administration. They messed up the situation. They've allowed an opening to attack. You've got this city-funded grocery store. Oh, man, that's unfortunate. Zoran Mondani's not going to be happy. He's not going to be happy about that. They need more money. They need more taxpayer dollars. Get some food in that grocery store. Why does Adam Schiff put his face so close to the screen? Because these people, they don't know how to do social media. These are all old people. They don't know how to do it, and that's not surprising. Tulsi Gabbard is a rock star. That's what Charlie Kirk says. 58% of students who graduated within the last year are still looking for their first job. But we need 300K H-1Bs. Well, it's... No, the Wall Street Journal stuff. Yeah, but again, even if the Wall Street Journal being right or wrong, it's the same shit. It's what Elon Musk said. Like, do we have to go through this again? It's like, okay, so he's in the files. Does that mean he's guilty of anything? They released the same shit that Elon Musk said. So they released something that was already said by someone that obviously has high up people and knows people. I mean, he's the richest man in the United States. Kirk simping. Yeah, I mean, Tulsi Gabbard is a rock star. I mean, it just seems not... It seems like it's forced what they're doing with this Obama prosecution or... CNN interviews Epstein brother. Would you rather acquire Alberta or Greenland given the choice? See that honestly, Alberta would be a lot more useful for the. Well, I would say I think Greenland is way more realistic. I'd say Greenland just makes more sense. You don't have to deal with how many people are in Alberta, 5 million. So I'd say Greenland. Hey, what's up, Matt? What's up? And Antonius, what's up? clickbait annexation content is so good. Yeah, I mean, it's just what the algorithm, dude. I mean, you know, it's what the algorithm gets views off of, so. You should watch Epstein brother clip, and none of it's reliable. I mean, I'm sure, you know, who knows if the whatever he says is reliable. All right, I'll go to the Eric stuff. More files are coming on. I mean, you know, it's like we're still doing this. Look, you know, this is, I guess, good. Look, the thing with Obama is this is what I think they have Obama on. And look, I know people are going to say nothing's going to happen, and that's fine. They're saying that his own intelligence told him in December of 2016. So this is like 2 months after the election. They did an assessment, and there was nothing that linked collusion between Trump and Russia. And then Obama pushed it anyways, or he went to someone else. And so that's what they're trying to get Obama on, I think.
2017, Obama manufactured intelligence assessment. They printed what they were fed. People like Ellen Nakashima from the Washington Post, who, by the way, went on to win a Pulitzer Prize because for years she was so good at lying and not telling the truth to the American people that they gave her an award for it. These people are still here. Ellen Nakashima is still harassing people who work within the intelligence community who are calling up and reporting her, you know, using burner phones to try to ask them harassing questions. There are a lot of deep state actors still here within Washington. President Trump wants us to find the truth. I want to find the truth. The American people deserve the truth, and they deserve accountability, which is why I'm really glad to see that Attorney General Pam Bondi and the Department of Justice announced the creation of a strike force team today, specifically to get after all the intelligence and evidence that we have gathered. We have more coming, and to determine the path forward to bring about that accountability.
Are we forward to hearing from you?
Right. So what do you think the chances Obama actually gets arrested? I think it's got to be very low. And also there's the idea of presidential immunity as well. So, yeah. I mean, maybe if Trump is really backed into a corner. Columbia University caves to Trump administration, agrees to pay $200 million fine, stop race baiting admissions. Where's the energy from Epstein? Well, I know, but that's the diversion from Epstein. That's why they're doing this against Obama. You liked the immigration video earlier? You know all illegals can't stay, but deporting them isn't realistic. Well, I mean, I think it's just a huge problem in the country. You can't deport them all under the current way that they're doing it. It would take too long, and there's no way that the Republicans are going to have office for that long anyways. Not under their whatever their current plan is. I mean, if you get funding at $150, $170 billion and you're saying we might be able to deport 1 million per year. Off topic, but you haven't done a video on what if Flight 175 crashed into Flight 2315 or Flight 11 crashed into 175, since 175 did see Flight 11. Yeah, but I mean, I don't think they were close to crashing at all when they were in the air. I mean, if they crashed, it would be, you know, depending on the flight that crashed, it could have prevented a lot of deaths, even though it would be a terrible collision. Especially if it was Flight 11. You seem to be casually fine with your president trumping up treason charges on a past president to distract you from a pedo scandal. You're just like, this is fine. Dude, it's just, you know, Trump has done some bad stuff. You know, this is not good what Trump is doing. You know, so that's what I say about it. You know, and so look, we'll see what happens. I don't know what to tell you. But listen, there's a lot of fake stuff and there's a lot of Democrat fake stuff. I don't know, man. I mean, I think the administration has handled it badly. Obviously, it's not a good time. And so they're trying to do this with Obama. We'll see what happens. Are you glad the Epstein stuff is happening now, 3.5 years to clean up, versus the end of the presidency nightmare impacting 2020? Well, I mean, obviously, if this happened, think about it, if it happened next year at this time with the midterms. So, that would be the summer surprise leading into the midterms. So that the timing of it, look, you don't want the situation never should have happened like this because they botched it so badly. And it really goes back to what Bondi had said when she said we had stuff and we were releasing it and there was going to be a phase 2. That's really where the whole thing started. Now you can say, well, this is even a bigger precedent. It doesn't really matter at this point. It's them covering up these terrible crimes, and I agree with that. It doesn't even matter, but it's bigger than just Bondi. You could say, well, the timing of it is better. I wish that it just didn't happen at all. They could have formatted. It's like, you don't want to say it's an unforced error, but I mean, they dealt with this in the worst way imaginable. Has Trump mentioned anything about the H-1B problem? Seems to be a problem Washington is ignoring. Well, Trump is actually in favor of the H-1B program because he's a billionaire, and they're able to really exploit that program for very cheap labor. I mean, it's a capitalist haven, the H-1B program is. So, look, I mean, maybe Trump will change his tune and come out against it. I mean, we don't know. I know Trump in past has been in favor of the H-1B, and Musk is obsessed with the H-1B stuff. They must get a lot of their workers through H-1B. Some of the jobs that the people come in and do, they're very good jobs. They're quality jobs that really need to be spaced by Americans. I think the H-1B thing is a very clear issue in the capitalist sense when you look at it, because of just, I mean, that's the problem. And really, when they're arguing for more immigrants to come into the country, it's a capitalist fight, because they talk about the upping of GDP and the increase, and I mean, it's all based off of like economics. When you're talking about like life quality and demographical control, they don't, that's really the argument. It's like demographic control versus a few percentages up or a few points up on GDP. And I mean, that's kind of where you see a bit of an issue with some of this capitalism. But I like capitalism certainly more than socialism. I'm just saying, you're not going to find an economic system that's perfect. There's a very common point with economics, and that's why they continue to argue with these tariffs, because whenever you do something, whenever you move a lever of the economy, there's going to be a potential negative reaction to it. There's a yin and a yang. There's always a yin and a yang to when you have like an economic policy. So this self-inflicted wound. Only terminally online people like us were complaining about the file still not being out. The fact that they published that memo was yeah, no, I agree 100%. I mean, I just wonder, are we really terminally online? Is this a bigger thing? Is this like offline theater? Do most people care about this? I don't know if they do or not. Because I don't really have someone that's necessarily complete. I mean, some of the people, I guess, that I know don't really care about it, but they're really not into politics. But the real problem is Trump really can afford to lose even 1% of his support nationally over the Epstein files, and I think he's going to lose it if it's not settled. Oh, you mean Trump cannot afford? Yeah, I mean, it's hard to say 1%. What does that mean? 1% for the midterms is kind of, it depends with how it's distributed and different district races and stuff. I mean, it's the House. The House is the deciding factor. There's many races in the House, so it's harder to pinpoint. Republicans are just they're cheating their asses off with this redistricting. Democrats really can't combat it, and I don't know if it's going to be enough, but this is the gerrymandering aspect of it, so we'll see if they're able to do it. I mean, they want to redistrict and possibly create, like, from what I saw, 12 or 13 Republican districts. I mean, You know, they're going to need it. They're going to need it. It's going to be close with the House. Hillary and Bill. Maybe you think Hillary and Bill are appreciative of the Democrats trying to drag this Epstein stuff up and being supportive of now everything coming out now? 96% of self-identified MAGA Republicans approve of President Trump. Yeah, people still like Trump within the Republican Party. It's the independence is the issue. It's the independence. It's waning. You know, you look at the support. You look at some of the pollsters. That's what they're saying. Rasmussen is saying the independent support. That's what Trump is losing. Which I guess makes sense. You would think the independent support would go before. What did Massie say? Massie probably... he's asking for more money. You know, he brags about the money that he gets from people. He's like, oh, I just had a viral tweet now. Donate to my campaign. You know, he's doing the whole thing. He's like this right-wing person who's against Israel and says Trump takes all this money and stuff. And I mean, there's an avenue to be had with that type of grift. But yeah, I don't like Massie. You look at Massie and some of the bills that he voted for with Biden, the amount of money the amount of things that were passed. I mean, it's total grift with Massie now, where he's pinning himself against Trump. But I mean, Trump's playing into it to a degree. But if you're not going to vote in the favor of Republicans and you're a supposed Republican, you know, Trump's not going to be happy about that. Support for Trump is bottom of the barrel for 18 to 35. Yeah, I don't know how accurate that really is because when you're talking about, see, when you do like 18 to 35 or 18 to 29, those type of polls tend to be very inaccurate. There's a very large margin of error in that because it's a specific subset of people, and so those type of polls tend to not be very accurate. You know, when they say a poll, Trump is polling plus 10 among people my age, and now it's minus 40. You know, I know people my age. There's no way that's true. There's no way a poll, something can swing 50 points in the span of 3 months. That's not an accurate poll. If minimum wage didn't exist, U.S. wouldn't need H-1Bs. Well, I think the U.S. shouldn't have H-1Bs in general. Or at least they should be significantly scaled back and hopefully, I mean, can't they just be eliminated? You think we have enough citizens? And that was the entire argument. We don't have enough smart people in this country for H-1Bs. I don't think H-1Bs are crazy, like, brain whiz people coming here. I think it's grunt coding work that they can extort foreigners for. Do you actually think XRP is going to do well? We got to stop with the XRP.
I'm sure you've seen the attack ads by now. Look, it's simple. They're attacking me because I'm holding the Washington machine accountable. Whether it was being the lone no vote against Pelosi's $2 trillion COVID bailout, or just this month, voting against adding $4 trillion more to the national debt. And now, I'm leading the charge to force a vote to release the complete Epstein files. I'm Thomas Massie, and I approve this message because I'm not folding, I'm fighting, and I'm just getting started.
Right, and so he's going to format being the opposition to Trump. But he voted for several Democratic bills with massive spending. He was not going to say that in there. How's the weather? Oh, the weather's too hot. It's too hot again, man. He grew a beard, I guess so. I think he's had that for a little while. This hair is just so ridiculous.
We also know that there are donors that I'm sure are going to be willing to make sure that they are investing and making sure that they can take down some of these candidates since they don't want to rule out dark money. I'm sure some dark money gonna pour in on the behalf of the American people. So what I am saying is every tactic, as well as making sure we're touching people. We also know that there are donors that I'm sure are going to be willing to.
Excited for Battlefield 6 trailer tomorrow? No, I don't even remember the last Battlefield I had. The one that came out in 2017. Whatever that one is. XRP broke an all-time high after 7 years of consolidate. Well, don't you think that's a problem if the coin consolidates for 7 years? That might be a bit of an issue. I mean, it does like a 4 or 5x. I mean, come on. Look, I know 4 or 5x for a stock. Dude, it's just like, this is so annoying that this happens. I don't even know what happens. The fucking thing just drops. I think it's back. Rogue Iranian sleeper cell cat attacks family. No, nothing like that. Litecoin gonna 10x? Dude, come on. Come on, brother. Come on, bruh. I'm sick of this internet, man. I really am. I'm just tired of losing all my fucking viewers. You missed some super chats? I don't think I did. Well, if the one super chat I missed... Excited for Battlefield 6 trailer tomorrow. The last Battlefield I played was in 2017. That's what I can say about that. You know some H1B devs working for 15 plus years? Yeah, they have an entire career out of it, I'm sure. If it's crapping out again, just refresh it. Please refresh. Yeah, just refresh it. Refresh if it's bad. NASDAQ 420 is crashing. Dude, come on. No, it's not crashing. It had a retracement. It had a healthy retracement. You saw something about Trump and H1B recently? Yeah, Trump supports H1Bs, I think. Strike Force launched on Obama. Randy Fine demands the arrest of Barack Obama in the name of Israel. Did you see the new Superman? No, I didn't see it. You know what? I should see something like that. Because people keep asking me, did I see it? But I haven't seen it. And I've actually heard it from people it was good. Some people said, well, it was woke, it was bad. But other people have said it's good. Colorado versus Georgia Tech. Week 1 prediction. I have no clue. Georgia Tech probably wins in a low-scoring game. What does Trump mean when he calls that Epstein a hoax? I think he means him being involved in it as a hoax. I don't know. That's the only thing I can read into it. That's what I think. I mean, it doesn't really make sense for him to call it a hoax. We try and think about what it actually means, but Love the immigration video you made about Hispanics who are coming and can't integrate into the American culture like our ancestors did. Well, yeah, and then the other thing with integration, I didn't even mention this. It's you're not allowed to. If we say we want them to integrate, we're the racist ones. They say, well, no, you should allow them. They bring their culture in, and it's fine. You don't let them integrate. So it is the ultimate form of globalism for the West. They come into the country, and then if we say you have to integrate into our culture and how we do things, they say that's racist. You can't do that. Understanding the history of our demographical makeup is just, you see these people's arguments, none of it makes any sense. Their entire argument is built on fallacy. Did you hear Epstein lawyer Roy Black was found dead? Yeah, I saw. He was 82 or 72? I don't know. I mean, obviously it's very suspicious. I think Paxton will win in the primary, but I think he had something with his wife that's not good. But I think he'll win. Yeah, CNN interrupted the broadcast with Tulsi speaking about the Obama stuff. But it's like, I don't know, man. The Obama stuff is just, it's just, what am I supposed to really say about it? San Diego is getting better. They're gentrifying. Yeah, I heard San Diego was decent. I mean, there's parts of major cities that are good. It just, Pangu might be the next big meme coin to cross 50 billion. Have you seen the liquidity on that coin? I think it's basically nothing, the liquidity on that coin. If what I saw correctly. Trump looks bad and all of this. Terrible. Just terrible. What part of Cleveland is nice? You're flying. Well, you don't want to go to East Cleveland. East Cleveland is, you're not going to be in East Cleveland. That's not the tourist areas. I don't even know if we have many. No, we have the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. It's in Cleveland. It's a decent place. Yeah, there's some downtown spots. There's museums. Good art museum. But even the downtown area, it's nothing special. I mean, it is what it is, but could something happen to Obama like it did with Trump where he takes the mugshot? Yeah, they want the mugshot. I mean, that's what everyone wants. That's the point of it, is the mugshot. And then you deal with the legal stuff and they shield Obama from any actual real charges, but you want the mugshot. Can you get the mugshot? They got the mugshot of Trump. People say it looks badass, but they really wanted that. The liberals wanted the mugshot. Texas father moved family to Russia to escape wokeness in the United States, sent to front line in Ukraine. What the hell?
Hey Deanna, hey girls. I love you very much. I'm very, very happy to get to send you this video, let you see my face, see I'm doing well, probably see I've lost a few pounds. I miss y'all more than you can imagine, and I can't wait to see you. Hopefully I get a vacation.
To escape wokeness, but why would you go to Russia? Just go to Wyoming. You going to Russia? Ghislaine Maxwell coin 26K. Ticker GM worth a lot of what's on Solana? Yeah, I don't know, man. The Solana stuff is it's just too much with those coins. I mean, maybe is it the main one? The problem is there's probably 10 different tokens like that. That's the issue. Did you hear about the Bangladesh Air Force jet that crashed into a school? No, I didn't hear about that. I think the name Guardians is very bad. They could have really picked anything else other than Guardians. I just think the Guardians name is kiddish. Movie, thank you. $5. Still wondering about the raw footage. Pam Bondi said the missing minute was a routine camera reset, but Wired says metadata showed it was edited. Yeah, so apparently it was a few of the minutes were edited out of it. It was edited 4 different times by Adobe Premiere, is what they said. So the evidence, they were lying. I mean, if that's correct, they were blatantly lying and they edited stuff out. I mean, that sounds next level bad. You got to understand, people are already so skeptical of this anyways, because they said there was no video and that was suspicious. Why would there not be video? It turns off at the right time or it malfunctions. Now suddenly there's this video, but they go in the metadata and they see it was edited 4 times. How stupid are they? They edited it and they thought people wouldn't know that minutes were missing. I don't know. I don't know what to say. How many 5x coins have you bagged? I mean, certain, like, I would say at least 7 or 8 coins. Well, I mean, all time, definitely like 20 or 30, but in my portfolio right now, the 4 or 5, well, I mean, it depends when you buy them, because, I'll buy them, they'll go down a lot, then they'll go back up, but I guess, so it's like a 5x from the floor, but.
The report goes into great detail about the information that Russia and Putin had on Hillary Clinton, which included possible criminal acts like secret meetings with multiple named U.S. religious organizations in which State Department officials offered, in exchange for supporting Secretary Clinton's campaign for the presidency, significant increases in financing from the State Department. They also had documents that showed the patronage of the State Department to State Department employees who would go and support Hillary Clinton's presidential campaign. There were high-level DNC emails that detailed evidence of Hillary's, quote, psycho-emotional problems, uncontrolled fits of anger, aggression, and cheerfulness, and that then Secretary Clinton was allegedly on a daily regimen of heavy tranquilizers. Then CIA Director Brennan and the intelligence community mischaracterized intelligence and relied on dubious substandard sources to create a contrived false narrative that Putin developed a quote-unquote clear preference for Trump.
Now that's a video that should be done. Hillary Clinton on tranquilizers. And then there's all these videos of her and it's just like whiplash almost. 2016 campaign was Kino. It was, dude, even the primary setup. And then just, people look at 2016 versus 2024. 2016 that was a next level upset. 2024, I expected Trump to win. Not even as a Trump homer, just based on polling. 2016 was next level. Trump was elected partly because of the WikiLeaks email scandal. Yeah, it would happen like a week before. It happened. That was the October surprise. No, they blamed Comey. They blamed Comey for that, remember? It happened like a week before. The Clinton campaign did. Oh yeah, this dude's being sentenced. I saw that earlier today. Dude, Candace Owens said, Candace Owens was like, I'm being serious. they're holding up peace negotiations between Russia and Ukraine because France and Macron have demanded that I stop talking about the fact that Brigitte is a male. So they're holding up peace negotiations. The French are holding up the peace negotiations. Oh man. Hey, now Candace Owens. I mean, are they gonna prove this? Are they gonna prove that she's a woman? How do you like? You gotta prove this. Remember this spirit cooking? Remember the car? Her getting in the van? Her getting into the van? Dude, I remember Alex Jones freaking out in a video on Twitter. I was watching it in high school. I was in high school watching it. It was like in October of 2016. He was like, her and Obama stink. They smell like sulfur. They smell like hell. She stinks and she smells like, and I go like, what? Like sulfur. That's why you have flies. They have flies landing on them. Hillary will be in a room with 1,000 people. Nobody has flies on them. 2016, you had the biggest smile on your face in the middle of election night, a tear down your eye as a 24-year-old who had lost so much hope during the Obama term. Yeah, 2016 was amazing. Is Ian Carroll going to get sued too? I don't know. What did Ian Carroll? Is he a part of this? Did he say that Brigitte was a man? I don't know. What even is the defamation? Aren't they public figures? Isn't it almost impossible to sue for defamation of public figures? I mean, what do they say? It's slanderous. It's very hard to do that. You're looking bulkier. Yeah, I do have a lot of muscle. That is true. How would you rate Trump's first term? It's just the cabinet he had was really bad. So, and also Trump had never really done leadership, so it's it's hard to grade. The first term, it's interesting. Trump couldn't even get money for the wall to build the wall. After the 2018 midterms, he couldn't do anything. Literal vampire potbelly goblins are hobbling around coming after us. Remember when he interviewed Alexa? He's like, Alexa, who is Adolf Hitler? And then it spouts out, something. Alexa, who programmed you? I was made by Amazon. It isn't hard if it's a blatant lie. Owens has no proof and is just speaking out of her ass. Well, I think her proof was from another person that talked about it. I mean, obviously, I don't know what's there, but she's not going to go through a vendetta against us if there's no proof. There's proof of something. I don't know if it is. I mean, isn't it easy to prove if she's a woman? I don't know. I haven't really been following the Owens stuff, but it's very strange. She's had this weird, this obsession with it, so you'd think there'd be something to it.
When I watch this, is he setting himself up to go into new media, podcast, maybe streaming, something where he's a voice that represents the angry Democratic platform that he is? I mean, clearly that's the position he's putting forward. That's one side. On the other side, which I think he has to try and balance, he's trashing his family brand a little bit here. I mean, whether you like Biden or you don't, and I understand the last
Dude, you shouldn't have an Alexa. Your Alexa got triggered. Well, dude, you shouldn't have an Alexa. Alexa, how do I turn you off? Alexa, factory reset. No, I'm not gonna do that too.
Years of his mandate it had big issues that were not addressed in that interview. But you got to remember, he was a lawmaker for decades and a respected one, even if you didn't believe in his policies. But this is, in my view, if this was my son, I'd take him behind the barn with a stick and I'd beat him.
Wow. So you've seen the cussing ones.
You just don't do. The family brand is being trashed. That's my view. And I think that's a horrible way to end it for the original Biden. When I watch this, is he setting himself up to go into new media?
Is that how you talk to your AI girlfriend? Alexa, super chat, YouTuber depressed ginger, $500, and then it just does it. Imagine. And this was crazy. This dude was like walking in a river where a girl disappeared and then stepped on a body. It's disturbing. Tranquilizers. Dude, what is with all this anime AI crap? Jeff Bezos weighing possible acquisition of CNB. I never know what Bezos owns. He owns like some journal or some shit. The Washington Post, I think, is what he owns. Cadillac CT5. Yeah, I'll probably be getting that car when I get more money from crypto. I mean, I could technically get it right now if I wanted to, and I'd be okay, but it's just too much. It's too big. I mean, if you want a nice sedan, a new sedan, it's gonna be 50,000. Even the base variants of them, it's like 48,000. The base versions. 6 months ago, Bitcoin was at 65K. I mean, it's a crazy asset. Bitcoin. Think about it. Its cycle low this year was 15, or not this year, but the cycle low was 15K, and so it's gonna do like a 12x. It's just crazy for a coin with that market cap to go up that much. Yeah, just another fake video there. That's disturbing to look at. There's something disturbing about these robots. Embrace the future, boomer. I'm going to be a boomer. These robots are disturbing. Yeah, Polymarket's going to be coming to the United States, I guess, or it's going to be legal in the US. They're saying. Solana cycle low was $7. I know. I thought it was 8, but it's close. Do you invest in normie crypto or niche? It's all like low cap memes. It's definitely not the high cap stuff. Polymarket should have a corporate office in Las Vegas. Yeah, I mean that's basically what they do. It's like gambling for sure. It's just another form of betting. Have a casino of just Polymarket. You go in and you just have machines and you just click on. I guess it really wouldn't make sense to do that. You've been using Kalshi to bet? Yeah, that's the American one right now. It's basically the same thing as Polymarket, just they made it legal in the United States. So you'd think Polymarket would be able to be legal if that one's legal. Have you made money on your crypto? I've made, well, I mean, it's all relative. It's all relative. I mean, I have made money, but it's all still in. I haven't really cashed anything out. So you can't really say you've made money until you transfer it to like USDC or, you know, a stable coin. But I mean, I really wasn't involved in the 2021 cycle, and I was very young during the 2017 cycle. So, and I didn't have money in the 2021 cycle anyways. Yeah, I mean, Polymarket, it's just like it's just interesting to see the certain chances of things for happening.
I'm sure Jesus loves them, but everybody else thinks, everybody else.
So I guess we had some more technical problems. That was the same night as we lost with Senator Rand Paul. Awful sorry to hear that because everybody respects.
Term limits stat. We need term limits.
It could be financial, and I don't know that it's purely political. It could be, but my concern is if it is political, then everyone should be concerned. People on the right should be concerned. People on the left should be concerned, because it's very clear that if it is political, this is the dismantling of our democracy. This is the dismantling of our Constitution, right? And so the First Amendment is the First Amendment for a reason, and that is freedom of the press, freedom of speech, freedom to speak truth to power. If that is taken away, if the comedians are being attacked, then that means our Constitution is being dismantled. That's right. That means the very rubric of our democracy is being dismantled. And I think every single person should be really, really...
Like when liberals try and take away the Second Amendment?
Concerned about it. I'm thrilled that Senator Warren, Elizabeth Warren, Senator Bernie Sanders is asking Skydance, is asking for answers whether or not this was political. The Writers Guild is actually asking the Attorney General to look into this situation to find out if it was political. And if we find out it is political, what are we going to do as a country? We must protect our Constitution.
Remember Trump's Truth Social post calling for everyone to go watch Mark Levin on the Boomer Final Boss. The Boomer Final Boss post. Everyone go watch. It's like he's watching Fox News and he's just like, "Oh, I love this." I like he can't even express how much he loves it, so he has to tweet about it. But remember when he posted the compilation of just like the cool tricks, just like 25 cool things. And he tweets it with no caption, just the video, and then people are like, the president of the United States is tweeting this. Oh man, he should have just posted it on X. It would have been amazing. You know, he has something where, I mean, the only reason Truth Social has any value is because he's posting on it constantly. He knows it would lose all of its value. He like owns Truth Social, I think. His media corporation owns it. Well, it was Mark Levin just saying we need to forget about Epstein. So there's a surprise. Epstein is associated with the CIA. That's why they won't let the files be released. Well, yeah, did you see what... I think it was Acosta, the former labor secretary, said that, oh, we were supposed to let him go because he's a CIA asset. That's why they gave him a lenient sentence in 2007. They called him an asset. Trump's lost his aura. Now he's turned into the mega boomer. The boomer, yeah, he's the boomer final boss. You can't escape Trump. Boomer in charge. I don't understand. This is not even a joke though. So they're saying there's no Epstein files, but I don't really understand this. They're comparing 400 calories of different foods and substances, but then this, but it doesn't work. Dude, come on with this stuff.
A sitting president just accused a former president of treason. Now, do people realize how serious an allegation this is? And for me, didn't the Supreme Court, under the guidance of this president, say that presidents have immunity? So that would mean that nothing Obama did, because you didn't say no, that only you have immunity. You said presidents.
Yeah, when
so
you're in
this
office.
Means
when you're in office.
You have no right.
Your actions in office.
To try to take him to court because he did what he did as president. So how does that work? Is it only you
I'm black.
Clear,
Yeah,
or
I can't do it. I'm not gonna do that again because it was too. I ruined it. I ruined the original moment.
The worst predictions that inflation was going to be fueled by this new tariffs regime have not turned out to be the case so far. Are you confident that even as new tariffs go into place on August 1st, on August 12th, that there will not be an effect that Americans are going to see when they try to buy a car or Christmas goods or toys or dolls or anything else?
Well, I think what we've seen so far is that the manufacturers have been eating it a lot, or the exporters have been taking a lot of the price or the tariff adjustment. I think we're also seeing a lot of the retailers do it. A lot of the retailers' margins got very fat during COVID, so I think some of them are absorbing it. I was with the Amazon CEO last week, and he said thus far they're not seeing any price increases. And thus far, we've seen very good inflation numbers this year.
The dude punched Elon in the face. Remember that? That's true. There's Elon right there. What if they had to set up a meeting? What if they had to have a meeting together? Have a little debate. Elon. What if someone was interviewing Elon and he's like, "What do you think of Scott Bessent? What do you think of the rumor?" The interest rates, you know what Trump said, Powell is not going to be removed. I just don't see it how it happens. I mean, the Powell is going to stay. Even Trump said Powell was staying. And I think they're going to have to cut. They might only do one cut, though. All we need is really we need one cut in September. Or the cut in October for crypto. We need one cut. If there's not a cut, I'm going to be real fucking angry. There needs to at least be one cut in September or October. Climate change, an existential threat. That's what they're declaring it. Trump is really doing a lousy job draining the swamp. Well, I mean, it's they would say he is the swamp at this point for covering up the Epstein stuff. I think they're gonna have to do something about this Epstein thing. I mean, You know, it's going to bog the administration down. The ads on your stream never play. You probably have an ad blocker. What's the anime shit Elon keeps posting? Yeah, it's so annoying. And then this account like has to retweet it constantly. They've got like some type of deal. Like, look at this. They're retweeting this type of shirts and stuff. Really, Interstellar is playing? See, I love Interstellar. I don't know if that's the right movie for that setting. You don't have an ad blocker. They play during your other videos, but not stream. Well, I don't know what would be the issue then. No, he's right. They don't load. We constantly have to refresh the stream. Does it happen with it? Maybe it's it has to be a YouTube problem. It's not like I have specialized ads or anything. It all runs through YouTube. Yeah, I have YouTube Premium. I couldn't do it with the ads. I use YouTube enough to where I have YouTube Premium. You know, you would think, this is what I thought. Think about it. If you hit 100,000 subscribers, they should just give you a lifetime supply of Premium. They don't do that, though. But I'm fine with paying $15 or whatever it is. Titans, what's up, man? Having the same issues? Is it just tonight it's happening? Before you had ad blockers, it would play some dumb ad and you'd have to refresh. Yeah, I mean, well, it's an auto-played ad that happens at a random time in the middle of the stream. But I don't know why it's not why it's malfunctioning like that. Best do something about the files before midterms. I know, but you know, it's going to be a tough. No matter what they do, they're kind of screwed in the sense of they've lost the trust. I mean, they could reveal some shit and then maybe people will be fine with, but you know, if you just reveal nothing burgers, there's even if you declassify stuff, it's not going to be enough because they've lost the trust. Europa, yeah, I mean, I've seen the greatest story never told. I mean, I've seen some of that stuff, man, but not that one. Dude, scroll down. There's like nothing here. It's all crap. Have you seen Adam Schiff's vid on YouTube? No, not on YouTube. Does he have a channel on YouTube, or is it from like a news outlet? I haven't seen the video on YouTube. I just saw the video on X. Did you see the story about a Florida man threatening to kill people on the Epstein client list and was arrested? People say his defense would be that a client list doesn't exist. Yeah, I did see that. I didn't know that was going to be his defense, but I saw that he got arrested. That was, I think, a few weeks ago. Did Japan bring their tariffs? I think Japan brought their tariffs to 0, I believe, and then we have a 19% tariff on them. He's buying You're buying Bitcoin at this point. You should already have Bitcoin by now, brother.
Yesterday it was JP Morgan weighing lending against crypto assets. Now we got this.
It's happening very fast, and I think that one of the things that I think any of these guys would say is, look, the customers want it. Now, when I had, it's very funny, because everyone says the customers want it, but when I had Michael Miebach on, who's the CEO of MasterCard, he didn't think there was any real demand for it. I mean, people want to trade. I think people want to own some as a hedge against the $37-8 trillion. They want to own a debt. They want to own it for their kids. And you know who else feels that way? Me. I don't want that debt. My kids. I'm worried about my kids. I'm worried about your kids.
I don't know why, but your stream causes a large accumulate of RAM utilization, which maxes out the Chrome tab and gives an. Maybe that's why I'm having troubles. Maybe there's something with my settings that's messed up. Because if the ads are messing up, YouTube channel, Senator Adam Schiff. Do you want me to go to it? I mean. Can't believe he's kept his job. Well, that's kind of his thing, is being wrong, and it, people constantly, he gets them a ton of engagement. CNBC. I remember the old stuff with CNBC talking about Bitcoin in like 2013, 2014. Bitcoin sponsored a college football bowl in 2014 in St. Petersburg, Florida. I don't know what the price was. It's crazy when you think about that. Like, imagine people got notified. But the thing is with Bitcoin is, nobody would have bought it back. Even if you buy it, you're going to sell it at some point. It's just like, the very few people can come through unscathed where they still own Bitcoin after like 2014. Most people sold it in like 2017. Colin Cowherd says Penn State will win it all. I don't really buy Penn State. I know they returned a bunch. They returned Drew Aller, and I'm not really buying Penn State. They can't beat Ohio State. Do you think they're blackmailing? What do you think they're blackmailing Trump with? Well, Trump's lived a long life. I can't say exactly what it would be, but it's very likely it's something extremely bad if this is the way Trump is handling this. It's something that obviously can't come out if they are blackmailing him with something. Or, it's not even Trump. It could be they're blackmailing one of his family members. They're blackmailing someone he knows. They're blackmailing something that would cause the administration to have some turmoil. How's Bama going to be? I mean, they'll be good. Bama has a really good roster, but without Saban for year two, I don't know. Homeland Security tweets out this. Settlers, yes. You think this is the CIA threatening to JFK, the president? The CIA, yeah. I mean, obviously Epstein was an asset for them, and there'd probably be some bad stuff that came out if he released stuff. Best normie coin? I don't know. It'd probably be it'd probably be like Chainlink or something. Probably like Chainlink or HBAR. They're moving to charge Obama. Yeah, I mean, we'll see if that ends up happening. I don't know if that's going to happen. Yeah, they're bringing Hillary, and the base will love this. Is there a boomer coin? Yeah, there is a boomer meme coin. It's on base. I don't think it's very high in I think it's like 2 million. I haven't looked at it recently though. At a certain point, unless it's directly involving Trump, he has to know it's causing way too many problems for him. Yeah, but I mean, it must be really bad. I mean, he seems pretty entrenched about this, trying to make it go away. Trump plays this correctly, he will be the greatest president ever. Starts with arresting deep staters like Obama. cutting off funding to foreign countries, especially Israel. Dude, how's he going to cut? Dude, he's a Zionist. He's not going to cut funding to Israel. That ship has long sailed, hoping Trump's going to cut any funding to Israel. You know, there was only an inkling of like, well, it seemed like Trump was kind of done with, you know, the Iran situation. There would be a nuclear deal, and he was, you know, there were rumors of that he was trying to play hardball with Israel and stuff. But then it's just like everything has been so, you know, the Epstein stuff. It's an insinuation that there's a cover up with Israel being involved. I mean, is it true Gen Z women only won't date Trump voter? No, that's not true. I mean, certainly some liberal women will not. I mean, but you know, with liberal women, it's like, you know, women in politics in general, it's just not something you really want. But liberal women with conservative men, I mean, if you're very liberal, it's going to be a problem you date conservative men. They say opposites attract. I don't know about politics, especially with how liberal these young girls, they're rabidly liberal. You know, in college, they're rabidly liberal. Some people told you that the ad that it won't load is connected investors ad. I mean, I don't know what ad that is. I don't get any ads. Yeah, the Saints are very clearly tanking, trying to get Arch Manning. They're keeping him south. I mean, they're going to go 1-16 probably, the Saints. They're going to try and lose every game. Yeah, they do tend to change their opinion on stuff. A distraction, Obama committed treason. Well, let me give you the dynamic here. Obviously, their administration is in turmoil, so you think it's just a coincidence that they're bringing all this stuff up right now, a week after the Epstein mess started? What an amazing coincidence. I mean, look, we can say the Obama stuff, I guess, is big if, you know, we'll see if they arrest him, which seems very unlikely. But dude, you can't be that gullible. I mean, it's obvious they're doing this as a distraction. Now, look, maybe it's big, we'll see, but you don't bring it up. And they're unsealing the MLK files. I mean, that's what this is. And maybe it's a worthy distraction, I mean, we'll see, but you don't think Trump is an ideological Zionist, a true believer, in the same way that some brainwash? No, I don't either. Well, Trump's religious ties are they're precarious, let's just say. People were telling me about that last stream. They're like, well, do you really think Trump's a real Christian? Well, I'm not going to judge on whether or not Trump's a real Christian, but yeah, I agree with you with him being a Zionist, and just certainly it's not in the sense of like, oh, it's this holy land, and that's just not what Trump is. Like evangelicals. You be watching, so I can't read your full name. Absolutely love your content. Watch everything. I appreciate that, man. Thank you. You remember what Trump said once? I'm not sure I've ever asked God for forgiveness. I don't. Yeah, I could see Trump saying something like that, Paul. That fits in line with my opinion on Trump and religion in relation to Trump. Oh, dude, this guy, it's like, who is this? This. I mean, but what comes of this? And really, does anyone believe any of this? Do you like my NFT? How much did that cost? What I can't really tell what it is. It looks like to be maybe a raccoon with mog glasses. I can't tell what that is, man. How much did it cost, though? I'm not a big fan of NFTs. I mean, I guess it's kind of a flex. If you're rich, you can just buy it and use it as your avatar. How do you feel about the Browns' new helmet? I didn't see it. I'm guessing it's not really a big change, honestly. Will rate cuts help inflation? It would save money on yeah, rate cuts would not really... Rate cuts do not help inflation. Now, depending on the rate cuts, they might not hurt inflation either. But they generally will not help inflation, no. That's why they're trying to tame inflation, and then hopefully the rate cuts happen. But, I mean, the inflation is pretty much under control. You can steal his NFT by using a screenshot. Yeah, but he still owns it on the blockchain. You don't own it. You know, he owns it on the blockchain. You can screenshot. It doesn't matter. You can screenshot a $100 bill. It doesn't mean you have $100. Look, I'm not trying to defend NFTs, but I'm just saying that the dynamic of them. The way you know the treason thing is BS is because if Bammers walked into the White House and said, "I'm guilty, string me up," you know they would not do it. Well, I mean, to me, it just seems like a distraction, but Anthony Fauci to be arrested. Yeah, Fauci got the full pardon when Biden was leaving, and it wasn't even Biden who pardoned him. It was the auto pen issue. Look up the Browns helmet. I mean, they're always bad. Any of these updates are just terrible with these teams. So this is the helmet. That actually looks good. That looks like one of those throwback helmets. That looks like one of those throwback. That's their new. Wait, is that an alternate? Oh, dude, he just lost. That's an expensive camera. Thoughts on the Coldplay affair? Yeah, that's it's a weird situation. Apparently, the entire it was a job outing, so the entire office knew that they were having an affair or something. It's very strange. Why does every crypto noob have an ape NFT Bored Ape Club? You're not if you have an actual Bored Ape, you know those are very expensive. Bored Ape Yacht Club. But they might not have one. Maybe they're just using it. I don't know. Dude, you gotta feel bad for this dude. the mascot. The mascot was shocked. The mascot was shocked. Yeah, I saw that meme. We know more about the Coldplay couple than the kid who shot Trump. Thomas Crooks. Yeah. He just, sometimes that happens where you forget where you're at on a platform. He thought he had another step. Oh my goodness. This is the big thing.
This would be less of an issue for the president if, this has actually split
MAGA in many ways. In some ways, it's the first real example we've seen of that.
Well, I think you've seen the sort of influencer, self-described influencer salon here basically in Washington that's completely spun up about it. The surveys I see of regular voters say that they're a whole lot more worried about can they afford a house? Are mortgage rates too high? What's going to happen with the economy? What's going to happen with trade? I think that the president's right to try to refocus attention on that because I think voters do care about it more. But you're correct that the talk radio influencers, the clickbait influencers, those people, they think this is right for profit.
I just reached out to a whole bunch of our Trump voters from our All Over the Map project. And you're right, actually. You're right. None of them said they're turning on the president. And they all say costs, the economy are way more important to them. But they also say this smells. They also say this smells and they want to know why. And they think they're hiding something. You may be exactly right. We'll see. And what matters a year from now matters a whole lot more than now about the political impact. But a lot of these people are Trump voters, not necessarily Republican voters. And so do they show up in the midterms? And it could be the...
Yeah, that's a problem with the midterms. A lot of them don't show up.
We are criticized, interestingly, by some folks on the right who want the pace of deportations to be higher. And I certainly understand that, frankly, and share that frustration. The counter argument is the courts are trying to stop us at every step of the way. And until about a month ago, we didn't have the resources for ICE to actually get this massive invasion that Joe Biden led into our country. We didn't have the resources necessary to actually process a lot of those people. That has changed because of the big, beautiful bill. We've also gotten some court case wins, so I expect that the pace of deportations will increase a little bit. But importantly, when people criticize us and they say, sometimes I'll hear this criticism, well, the pace of deportations from the Trump administration is actually lower than it was in the Biden administration. And that's actually a completely fake statistic. It's based on the fact that if you come into the country illegally and then the Biden administration processes you and sends you out, that counts as a deportation. It counts as an illegal immigration, and then it counts as deportation. So you have to look at the net number, right? If you do +1, -1, I'm not a math expert, but I'm pretty sure that's 0. The net number is what really matters. And where the Trump administration, where we've been most wildly successful, is that we have, I think in 2025, we will have the first net negative immigration number in about 50 or 60 years in the United States. And so
immigration, like all of immigration, including legal. Thoughts on the Freemasons? I appreciate that. Yeah, just a weird exclusive group. I never understood it. Are you the... I'm the dad expert? Is it it is true that a lot of Trump voters are not Republican voters, whatever that means. Yeah, I know. That stuff is like, it's like people that just support Trump but won't support other Republican candidates. I think it's more based around like they don't support neocons, but no, that's not where the party is anyways. The party is moving in the direction of, well, you could even argue now maybe Trump doesn't have a necessarily great handle on it, but the general direction is away from that. So I don't know what they mean by that, honestly. If you're voting for Trump, you're very likely a Republican, let's be honest. Unless you want to say they're independent, then it's differently entire. It's completely different. I mean, people are saying my ads are fucked. I don't really know what to say about that. Honestly. You're pretty black-pilled on the midterms. I mean, the midterms are too far away at this point. It's going to be tough, man. The midterms, they're going to keep the Senate, but it's going to be tough. The whale enters. Sean, what's up? The whale has landed. You're good off the Israel First Administration, F the JD 2020. Well, I mean, dude, you're talking about Vance. I mean, really, so who are you going to get? I mean, it's Vance, it's Rubio, I mean, maybe Tulsi, but I don't know if she would want to run. I mean, these are the choices that the Republicans are probably putting up. I mean, I guess Tucker, but I don't think he wants to do it. You want Youngkin as president? He seems like a president who can unite. Yeah, but Youngkin would have been good in like 04. I think the party has kind of evolved in a different way from Youngkin. I think Youngkin is too mellow. I know you could say, well, he was good, that he won Virginia. He can be good in swing states. I don't know if he'll draw the Trump base out. And I don't think it would be Youngkin. Maybe as a VP. I don't know. You'd vote DeSantis? Yeah, DeSantis has kind of had a political revival a little bit, but I don't know I don't think in a national sense DeSantis has been revived. And DeSantis has had his makeup with Trump, and that's good, I guess. But I don't see it with DeSantis on a national level. I think it'd be very hard for him still, unless there's like Trump endorses him, which I don't see how that would really happen either. Why would Trump endorse him over Vance or Rubio? Vance and Rubio are in the administration. It doesn't make any sense. Did you buy the dip? I'm pretty much already in, honestly, in my projects. It's not like I do have a little bit of Ethereum left. We'll see what I do with it, but the retirement coin, yeah, dude, it's so fucking that's the Solana coins, bro. There's no there's no belief in any of the Solana shit. With the retirement coin, it might have to become a trade. I think Trump is gonna sign that crypto 401k. And if he does, I think we're probably going to have to exit it. Wait for the pump and then exit it. Hopefully there is a pump. But it's like, I thought that coin would have been a longer term thing, and there's just been no sustainability to that price. But hopefully, that 401k thing gets signed and the news will pump it. No, I didn't see Superman yesterday. Whenever I'm off, people assume I go to a movie. Did you see the Hunter Biden interview? Yeah, somebody else super chatted me. It's an interesting interview, I'll be honest. But I mean, a lot of it is like BS. But it was more interesting than I thought a Hunter Biden interview would be. I don't know what I would have expected, but why did alligator Alcatraz story die? Well, it just died because this is what happens in the news cycle. I tell people this all the time. It's like, why did this story die? Well, I mean, the story, because there's attention spans of people. They have a certain attention span on a story, and then it's not a big news. I mean, I guess it's happening, and they're doing it, and so, I'm sure if there's like a bad storm or something, we're going to hear about it if it floods or something, but, or if it works out well, we'll hear about it. You lost hope in the U.S. government. No matter who is president, there will always be deep. Well, yeah, I mean, there has to be. There's control by so many different fractions when you think about it. I mean, with Congress, I mean, Trump needs Congress no matter what to be able to pass a lot of his legislation and what he wants done. So there's so many people you're relying on. You don't get to go in and then shift everything and change everything. It's impossible. They've set it up to where it's impossible to do that. Based on the Congress. Couldn't you get a low-key interview with Crook's parents and score a massive scoop overnight? Lambo next day. Well, I'm not really an interviewer, honestly. But have you seen the parents? Remember when the parents were the press caught the parents leaving a store and they were like fucking pissed off? I don't think they really want to do interviews. Crook's parents. I mean, I will say what you said is interesting about being, I really should take advantage of not really having any type of mainstream. I mean, obviously, I guess you want to be mainstream, you get more famous, but there are perks to not really being mainstream. That is true. You just have to be able to find them. Why does all the primary picks have to be some cookie cutter APAC funded senator or governor? Why can't we get a true populist? Yeah, I know. I don't know if there really is much in terms of that ideology right now that's available, is there? I mean, these people, I mean, these are all 30, 30, 40-year-olds. I think all the kids that would be like that, they're like in their 20s. The whole America First anti-Israel stuff. I think all those kids are in their 20s, man. I don't know. Maybe there is one. I just haven't seen any of them. You supported DeSantis during the primary because he was to the right of Trump on social issues. Yeah, but I mean social issues like culture war stuff. You thought Crook's classmates said he wouldn't have done it, like it was some psyop project he got him in. Yeah, there had to have been something. I mean, there has to be more to the story on that. But it's weird that Trump would not want it, not really investigate it. Liberals say that, I mean, obviously it's impossible for Trump to do, but they say Trump planned it. He got shot in the ear. Obviously it's ridiculous, but it is interesting that, you would think there would be, I'm sure there's an investigation into it. They said there was, but you'd think that they would talk about it more often. You think maybe this would be a distraction that they would use, the looking into the crooks. Yeah, I'll do more videos outside and stuff like that probably. It's just really hot right now and there's a lot of bugs outside. I really can't film much outside because of how, it's just not a fun time to be. I mean, maybe in the morning or something, but Midas is burying Trump. Midas Touch, the liberal. Oh, I'm shocked. It's like any of these liberal publications, we know what they're going to say. I mean, the same thing with the conservative ones, but it's like they're going to do hit pieces against Trump. Oh, shiver me timbers. So what will be the political outcome if Trump is found to have aided, abided, or, though unlikely, partaken in the Epstein actions? Well, I think it would. There'd be a removal probably. I mean, it depends the information that comes out. I mean, and how would information like that even come out not from the administration? You heard a politician today or yesterday say they thought it was weird on 9/11 they were still able to recover all the No, they weren't able to recover all the passports. There was one passport that was recovered from the two planes that hit the Twin Towers. So the two planes, and then that would be 10 hijackers. They recovered one of the hijackers' passports supposedly on the ground. I could explain it. I'm not going to get into that because, dude, there's just, look, there is a lot of stuff that people think is conspiracy, and like the Titanic thing is one where you talk to some of these people. These people, they think it's like a fake iceberg. It's like, oh my goodness. What is this thing about Trump with AI? Does anyone know what is that? People keep saying that, or they've said it a few times. Is it a Trump AI interview or something? The ship was not, dude. You gotta stop. The ship was fake. How was the ship fake exactly? The Titanic was fake. I don't even know what that means. He did a big AI speech. Oh, he did a speech on AI. Okay. I thought maybe it was like something that he might have not said and people thought it was AI or something. Domestic flight, old ID requirements. Almost nobody had passport. Yeah, but you would figure if you're terrorist, you're gonna want to bring identification so you don't get held up by security. You really want to eliminate any potential of there being a problem, you know, at the checkpoints. And those guys might have had to have had actual passports, you know, based on how they looked, to confirm. Now, I'm not interested in watching the speech, honestly. It doesn't really interest me. What are your thoughts on the title? What, the Wall Street Journal thing? I mean, it's the same stuff. It's the Elon Musk thing all over again. Yeah, we know Trump is in the files. The question is he guilty of anything? You know, the files are massive. Trump has taken photos with Epstein. So yes, they documented the photo that Trump took with Epstein and the relationship he had in the early 2000s. But, you know, the question is, does it go deeper than that? John Harbaugh met with Trump, the Ravens coach. Uh, yeah, I don't know. I don't know what happened to it. Japan trade deal is huge for US. 15% is the minimum for larger countries. The EU probably won't get as good a deal. Yeah, 15%. And they're really trying to rack in the revenue with the 15% minimum tariff on these countries. Oof. Yeah, man, I don't know what happened with the stream. The streams got fucking destroyed. Stream just gets... It just constantly does this. And then the ads aren't working. I mean, it's like... You haven't been on YouTube in a while. They added... Hey, Chris, what's up? They added XP. Yeah, I don't know when they did that. The thing is I took a break from streaming. I came back and they had it on. It's kind of useless, I feel like. I don't really see the point in it. You know, if you donate, I think you get a bunch of it. That's how it is. XP is totally pointless. Yeah, it would be one thing if your XP could add up from stream to stream over time, and then there'd be a leaderboard on the channel. I think people would be interested in something like that. But the fact that it doesn't, it's pretty much useless. Yeah, this seems like something YouTube would have brought out in like 2016, this XP thing, and they would have just trashed a year later. Like, it seems like it's from like 2014 or something they would try then. The person who interacts, yeah, but you also get XP for donating, I think. And then, like, you can have a goal right here. Like, I could set a goal of super chats. XP makes people want to comment. I don't know, man. It doesn't really seem like it seems like it's useless. John Harbaugh getting hatred for meeting with Trump. I'm sure he is. Sure he is, but it's irrelevant now. I mean, it doesn't really matter. The president who's serving a second term. Skibbity, Ohio. Yeah, you got to be like 16 if you got that fucking game. Bro, you're like 15. Why aren't we talking more about IDF bombing Christian churches? Yeah, I mean, the people have talked about it. This, of course, they say it's a mistake, and, it's really bad. Canada vid was good. Yeah, I tried to do a few vids today. I did like 3 different videos. So I worked a decent amount. I finally worked a decent amount. Trump would be smart to incorporate Greenland annexation into the EU trade deal talks. I think they wouldn't do it then. I don't think they would really because they're obsessed with that with Greenland. I mean, are they that desperate to do a trade deal with us to where they'd give up Greenland over it? I don't know. Type of car are you looking for? Just a sedan, a nice, really like a luxury sedan. You get a luxury sedan. I mean, if you get a gently used one, like maybe 5K, 10K miles, it'll be in the 30s. If you'll be in the 30s. If you get a new one, it's like 50. I just can't really justify that. Like, once I'm able to exchange, once I get money into my stable coins, I don't know when that'll happen, if it ever happens. It'll happen. It has to happen. Imagine I fucking don't get any money. No, I have to get something. But, I'll be able to buy something. A fam minivan? No, I'm not going to be getting a new house anytime soon. There's no reason for it. Cedar Point meetup. Dude, how hot do you think Cedar Point is? Seriously. Do you live by Cedar Point? They got like 2 new roller coasters. Cedar Point during the week during the summer, I think it's pretty bad pretty much every day. During the summer on weekends, bro. Imagine. Without the fast pass. Sarah, I appreciate it. Do you think Trump's health will hold out the rest of the term? I don't think Trump's health is a big issue right now, honestly. Yes, but yeah, especially compared to Biden. We're retiring on NASDAQ 420. Yeah, I know, dude. Once NASDAQ 420 will give us, like, because think about it. Well, imagine just wait for it to go to 10 million. Once it goes to 10 million, all we need is like a 20x. That's it. How many coins have done 20x's? Imagine once we get like 4 or 5 million in liquidity alone, the profit taking will be generational. $110 in Cedar Point. It's really hot. Self-deportations at 1 million. At this rate, 10 million by Trump's. No, that's not how self-deportations. I don't think that's how self-deportations work. I think self-deportations, you're gonna see a bunch of them at the start, and then they're gonna kind of peter. Why would people start it just the most amount of self-deportations the administration will have is right when they start enforcing it, because some of the people will get scared and leave. But the people that don't get scared are not just gonna leave, and it's not gonna be at the same rate, if you know what I'm saying. So you can't rely on 10 million people self-deporting, I don't think. And plus, I don't even know if they have there has been 1 million self-deported. Did you say in an old video you were about to work at Cedar Point? Well, yeah, I was never going to work at Cedar Point. Cedar Point's too far away. Still waiting on a big overnight pump. Yeah, that never seems to happen, does it? Well, I mean, it's, I feel like the American time zone where, most people are sleeping that are in crypto. I know people in other countries are in it as well, but it always seems like nothing really happens at night. Have you looked into a Tesla Model 3? I'm not gonna get a Tesla. I think Teslas they're big vehicles. And what is it? What is a Tesla? Just a base model, Plaid or Model 3? What is it, like 4650 for a new one? Yeah, I mean Teslas have beautiful interiors. That's a thing that would be nice. But Tesla, it's like it feels like everyone gets a Tesla, and so I also don't want to deal with the charging of it. I don't care about it. They're like, well, it's easier. It's like, whatever. I don't really give a fuck about getting gas once every 2 weeks, honestly. I think it's part of owning a car is getting gas, but I guess people that have to drive more, they like it. It's cheaper to refill, but the car is more. What, the Teslas are? Yeah, but there's the tax write-off on the Teslas. Although I don't know, that might get eliminated, or I think it's gonna get eliminated. A lot of V8. Yeah, I don't want a V8 though. That's the thing. I don't like loud engines like that. It ends in September. The write-off ends in September. Yeah, I guess it doesn't surprise me. He missed a freeway exit and traveled into Mexico and lost his DACA coverage. Wow.
He's a DACA recipient, brought to the U.S. from El Salvador 20 years ago when he was 14. He's now a rideshare driver and was taking passengers from L.A. to the border in San Ysidro when he missed his exit and ended up in Tijuana.
When that happened, he lost everything, basically.
His attorney, Valerie Sagamini, says with DACA, you need prior approval to leave the U.S. And when he tried to come back, she says the Americans at the border asked him for a bribe.
But at one point, one of the officials told him, well, if you pay us $800, we'll forgive everything and we'll let you into the United States with no problem.
Without any
yeah, we've got some great ICE immigration officers there.
cash, she says Hernandez was placed in expedited removal. He's now at Otay Mesa Detention Center with an order of deportation.
He doesn't know that country. He hasn't been there since he was a kid. So he has no idea what it's like to live in El Salvador.
That leaves his wife caring for their 3 kids alone, just weeks before the birth of their son.
It's just a lot of, stress, anxiety that I have because I'm currently in therapy right now. I started therapy because it's just a lot. It's just a lot that I have to manage by myself.
Una pesadilla, un mal sueño.
Hernandez's parents say this is a nightmare, a bad dream. They have legal status in the U.S. now, and they say they left El Salvador because it was corrupt there. They don't understand how this happened here.
Yeah, how does I don't even sure how that happens. But isn't there checkpoints when you go into the? I'm surprised there's just a freeway that just you freely go and without there being a checkpoint. I mean, I guess when you get off the highway, it would be the checkpoint, but. Guys like that claiming they don't know Mexico is bullshit. Mexico has Walmart, Home Depot, everything, any random white. Yeah, no, I mean, and also there were white people that were living in the bigger Mexican cities that they got angry at. They got angry at our immigration into there. Which is obviously hilarious, but. He, in fact, did not mesh into the melting pot. Yeah, the melting pot of a bunch of... Dude, think about the melting pot. How ridiculous is that? I mean, it's just like, bro. Really, the melting pot of Caucasians? That's what you're saying? I mean, that's what it is. They're like, well, it's all these different ethnicities. What are their races? All right, guys, I think that's going to do it for this live stream. I'm going to end it there. I was watching the immigration video and missed the exit. It's a hot immigration video, yeah. That's true. That's ridiculous how many signs there are warning you. They start. Well, he had to have been on his phone, honestly. It seems almost too suspicious, right, to do something like that. Did you see how Canada crime rates are rising due to unchecked immigration? Thank God we have good leaders. Well, I mean, it's not surprising. But Canada is in a hell of a situation with how liberal they are, and I mean, with how small their population is. I think their country is going to be destroyed, honestly, because they're going to take in too many immigrants. It's just not going to be recognizable. It's like, what's the point of even having a country? It's just a globalist cesspool. All right, guys, I'll see you later. And another self-deportation, I guess.